Sure. So, I should say, like, when we started SpaceX and Tesla, I really thought the probability of success was very low. It wasn't like I think, oh, we'll definitely be successful. I thought we'd be like maybe 10% likely.
Well,
yeah. And we came very close to both companies not succeeding in 2008. We'd had 3 failures of the SpaceX rocket, so we were 0 for 3. We had the crazy financial recession, like the Great Recession. The Tesla financing round had fallen apart because it's pretty hard to raise money for a startup car company if GM and Chrysler are going bankrupt.
It's partly for the upside.
Yeah, that was a tricky one. Unfortunately, at the end of 2008, the 4th launch, that was the last launch we had money for, worked for SpaceX, and then we closed the Tesla financing round, as you know, Christmas Eve 2008, last hour of the last day that it was possible. Well, if you make if the output is more valuable than the input, which is really that's profit. Like the output's more valuable than the input, that says you have a useful company. But in a high growth scenario, you have a lot more inputs for future outputs, so that you have negative cash flow and lack of profitability, and which we currently have at Tesla. But in the long term, of course, that has to be fixed. There can't be negative cash flow in the long term, and that there needs to be a net positive output, which is sort of profits in the long term. But in the short term, when there's high growth, it isn't the most sensible thing. Well, that's a really tough one to say. If there are super intelligent aliens out there, they're probably already observing us. That would seem quite likely, and we just are not smart enough to realize it. But I can do some back-of-the-envelope calculations, and any advanced alien civilization that was at all interested in populating the galaxy, even without exceeding the speed of light, even if you're only moving at, say, 10 or 20% of the speed of light, you could populate the entire galaxy in, let's say, 10 million years. Maybe 20 million years max. This is nothing, in the grand scheme of things. And then when you sort of choke it through the throat, that gives them sort of more opportunity to combine.
Yep.
So we think we can probably get to 90, certainly 98.5, hopefully 99% of theoretical combustion efficiency. This is so if God himself came and knitted together the molecules to do 1% better. Okay, maybe 1.5% better. That's very high efficiency.
Because of full flow stage combustion.
Full flow stage combustion, exactly.
Yeah.
You've got a gas-gas interaction. So you've got 2 hot gases combining.
Yeah.
And with a relatively simple reaction, the only thing that would be simpler would be hydrogen. But you've got CH4 and O2. It's pretty simple. You don't have any long chain hydrocarbons. With kerosene, you've got the long chains. They got to break down. They got to recombine.
Yep.
It's like total soup.
Yeah.
It's like potluck dinner situation. It's very hard to get high combustion efficiency with kerosene. So when you look at the say, like, what's the theoretical value of, say, a LOX kerosene engine as compared to a methane engine, the kerosene actually looks more compelling than it really is, because you can't achieve the high combustion efficiency with kerosene that you can with methane. So you actually want to say, what is the actual achievable combustion efficiency times the theoretical chemical energy? That's the real number.
Right.
And this is where methane starts to look really good.
Yeah.
It's like very hard to get to like 96% combustion efficiency or even 95% combustion efficiency with kerosene. But with methane, you can get 98 easy, 99 with a little bit of difficulty.
And so you don't.
Well, I think having a purpose certainly
is going to attract the very best talent in the world, because if people can, if there's something that's intrinsically enjoyable and the financial rewards are good, but then also it's something that's going to genuinely change the world, then I think that's a pretty powerful motivator. But I don't think like everything needs to change the world, you know. I mean, honestly, like there's lots of like useful things that people do, and I mean, I think really it should be like a usefulness optimization. Like just say like, is what I'm doing as useful as it could be?
You're talking about the goal of an organization or a
goal in
career?
general, yeah. And you know, just even if something isn't changing the world, if it's making people's lives better, I think that's great. And you know, even if something's like making only people's lives only slightly better, but it's a large number of people, then kind of like the area under the curve is quite good.
This is that mathematical first principles of point utility and number.
Exactly.
Look at the integral. Yeah. Okay.
Like I mean, sort of like one could say like is like some app really making people's lives better? But if it's affecting a lot of people, even in a small way, then yeah, the sort of area is good.
I don't think you're just telling me now, spoiler alert, you're probably never going to see a full flow stage combustion cycle aerospike engine produced by SpaceX.
You know, if somebody can show that we're wrong, that would be great.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody can explain like, wow, there is a way to make your design better. This is a gift.
Right.
I would be like, thank you for this great gift. Wow, this is awesome. It's definitely like the worst thing would be like we want to do some dumb design and stick with our dumb design.
Right.
That would be insane.
Right.
So I would love it if somebody could show how an aerospike is the smart move. In which case, we'll just do an aerospike.
Yeah, just do an aerospike.
Yeah,
There's
totally.
a reason they haven't been used. Period.
But maybe that reason is not valid. You know, because like there's also hasn't been a methane orbital engine,
Right? Or a
full
flying
flow.
full flow stage combustion. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been neither a full flow stage combustion engine that's seen flight, nor has there been a methane engine that's seen flight. Certainly in a rocket scenario. I think there may have been some like little test things, but no actual rockets. So, but I'm like very confident CH4 is the right fuel.
Yep.
So maybe aerospike is right, even though it's not been done before. But you just have to show that your combustion efficiency is not affected, and that you're straightening the flow sufficiently.
Yep. To get your expansion ratio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And also, if you've got a two-stage rocket, like I think this is the other thing. Like you've got a two-stage rocket where your boost stage is primarily in atmosphere and your upper stage is primarily in vacuum.
Yep.
Then you can specialize for a vacuum nozzle and a sea level nozzle.
Right.
And then why do you need the aerospike?
Right.
It's only if you want to try to do single stage reusable, then that's when you start like having to reach for the aerospike.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
To be clear, I don't want to die on Mars. It's like we're all going to die someday. And if you're going to pick some place to die, then why not Mars? Okay. You know, if we're born on Earth, why not die on Mars? Seems like maybe it'd be kind of exciting. But so I think given the choice of dying on Earth or dying on Mars, I'd say, yeah, sure, I'll die on Mars. But it's not some kind of Mars death wish. And if I do die on Mars, I just don't want it to be on impact.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Let's come back to